welcome to the debate. I'm your host Rafae, Iqbal, and in today's show we'll be talking about a story that started off in 2021 and is continuing a development with regards to that. I'm talking about the US withdrawal from Afghanistan and how the incumbent US President Donald Trump has reiterated to retrieve weapons left behind in Afghanistan by the US military. We talk in detail about the backdrop of this segment that we'll be discussing. At the Conservative Political Action Conference, the US President Donald Trump reiterated his call for the Taliban to return American military equipment that was left behind in Afghanistan as a result of the US troops' withdrawal back in 2021. He further warned that any future financial assistance to the Taliban regime would depend on the return of these arms and ammunitions back to the United States. He also pointed out that the US continues to provide $2 to $2.5 billion of financial aid per year to the interim Afghan regime, also terming US withdrawal from Afghanistan as disastrous. Well, in response, what we heard from the Afghanistan side, the Taliban regime warned that they will use the US weapons to resist any efforts by the US to reclaim control of these left behind weapons, as the Afghan Taliban has been calling it Mali Ghanimat. We'll be deliberating on the different aspects regarding this topic and the different dynamics to it. In the studios, we've been joined by senior analyst Farrukh Pitafi. Along with that, we've been joined by geopolitical analyst Faisal, and on Skype, we've been joined by Brigadier retired Nawaz, who is a political analyst. I'd like to thank you all for your time and being part of this conversation. Starting off with Brigadier Harris. So, a story that began in 2021 and a development that we're seeing now, the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, and now how President Trump has reiterated upon the Afghan Taliban regime to return these arms. How do you comment on the situation developing into this, what it is at the moment?
That's what he means it, because Trump has already asked Afghan Taliban to return all weapon ammunition of about $7 billion. And then also he said it was very hopeless withdrawal, it was not planned, it was disorganized, and he had made President Biden responsible for all this. And that is very, very important. Along with his order of inquiry that is to be conducted, and all those found responsible must be dealt with. He is very clear, I think generally he means business. Then he said that they have left around 777,000 rifles, their new rifles in Afghanistan. They left around 70,000 armored personal carriers and carrier vehicles and trucks there. 70,000 vehicles they have left. Just imagine. And even then, they have from 21 to 25, they have spent over $18 billion to it. Where is that money gone? We must know why it has been given to them when they are not following human rights or violations. They are doing it. Number two, they don't have political inclusive government. They don't have ethnic balanced government. They're not following the community of nations, and still they are being looked after. What are the designs? We must understand. Then he said there are around 24 different terrorist organizations which are there, and the whole money is going to them. It is funneled through Taliban. And Taliban is giving money and weapon ammunition to Khawarij also and Daesh also, and different other organizations. And that is what he said, it's a global threat to all these organizations. Whenever anything happens in Pakistan, it's a tacit approval of Afghan Talibans. Now, this is a very serious situation. And this is what Pakistan has been all the time telling Americans. And we have been talking to our friends in the region, like Russia, China, everybody, what we are facing problem. Why we have not been able to complete CPAC? These are the basic reasons. As long as Afghanistan remains troublesome, there are terrorist organizations, and Afghan Taliban and RAW, in line they're supporting TTP, then the Khawarij, then of course Daesh Khorasan, BLA, BLF, BNA, Majid Brigade, all are being supported. Now, how can you make Afghanistan peaceful? This is the big question mark. And that is what I always say. Afghanistan troubled means we will have no connectivity from Central Asia to Afghanistan through then Balochistan and then Gwadarpur, and the whole market of Africa and Middle East is available to even Russia, Central Asia, China, Pakistan and Iran. Just see how much we get economic boost. Being a nuclear country, being the only Islamic country, being a with battle-hardened army, with best strategic location. If we have been able to do the Gawadarpur operation, it means we'll have economic prosperity and then we'll take the scene in national interest. That is the problem. So we have been telling Americans, please look Pakistan directly. Don't look through the prism of India. That's the issue. And I think it's a very good, I'm very happy if Trump this means business and he can conduct inquiry also. And where that money which has come from 2021 to 2025, where that money is gone? Has it got to only one Taliban or it has been distributed to other terrorist organizations also? So this is a big question and Pakistan has to be very serious about it. We must enter into very serious dialogue with Americans. American President Trump also, because he says, I'm going to finish all wars, no Ukrainian war, no problem, no, we will not send our military troops to anywhere in the world. So this is a test. So I think at this time, Pakistan must enter a serious dialogue with American and European Union. Even America, Trump has said that we will not support Ukraine. All expenditure will be done and met by European Union because we have fought their war. So he is very clear on these things, but see how he conducts, how he behaves, and how he is serious about it. That matters the most.
Yeah. Brigadier Harris, it's obviously important to talk about the arms which were left by the Americans in this region, and of course, it has been affecting Pakistan very badly. In recent times, be it BLA, be it BLF, or TTP, the footprints of the American arms, they have been everywhere. So it means that the Americans' arms, the ones they left in Afghanistan, they have been sold to all of these terrorist outfits. So can we say that once they probe what number of arms they have left in Afghanistan, then will they be ever scrutinizing that how did them weapons, American weapons, end up in the hands of the terrorists and the very weapons they have been used against Pakistan?
You see, Faisal, the point, when Americans left, now Biden, Mr. Trump has to inquire that did they hand over these weapons to Afghan Taliban or they left unattended. Now this is a big conspiracy. If it was handed over to Afghan Taliban, then there is a different connotation. If they left unattended, and it should be just like a loot kamal, that has gone to all the terrorist organizations. But I think even if Afghan Taliban had control of these weapons, even then they would have distributed all these weapons. And that is what whenever there is any terrorist or attack in Pakistan, whether it is Balochistan or KPK government, definitely there are a lot of American weapons are being recovered from this when you kill these terrorists or terrorists. And then some of them are Afghan nationals also. That Pakistan has been telling all the time. And we have been telling Afghan that you are committed in a Doha conference that you will never let your land be utilized for any other neighboring country by this terrorist organization, but they have not done it. Despite the fact they say their Khawarijis are not there in Afghanistan. Just imagine. We have killed, we have given audio cases, we have given video cases, and we know the places where the leader Noor Wali Masood so and so is staying over there. Means it is all in collaboration. I would say there is not only raw, but other countries are also supporting Afghan Taliban to create trouble. And for trouble, main target is Pakistan. The point is, as long as Afghanistan is troublesome, Pakistan will never be able to complete CPEC and Gwadar Port operationalized. So this is the issue. So Afghan weapons they are selling the weapons, getting money. They're getting money from USA also. They're getting from China for exploration of mine minerals. Along with that, they are distributing these weapons to these terrorist organizations for Pakistan. What all we have done for Afghanistan, I think they have forgotten. They are the thankless people, I would say, let me tell you. Not all, but this Afghan Taliban, particularly I'm referring to those who are controlling the country at the present. They don't realize that what we have done for them. We give them wheat, we give them fertilizer, we give them sugar, we allow them to go for transit camp, then their fruit is coming to Pakistan. Every system we give them. And we're getting all narcotics, then hundi money, everything coming from that side. So this is where we have to make end to these things. And I think we have to enter into dialogue, very serious dialogue with them. Afghan Taliban government, and also with the Americans, that what all we are expecting. And America has to be very sincere. But let me tell you that idea is, I'm very clear that they will never let Afghanistan be peaceful. Afghanistan peaceful means Pakistan will have an economic jump like hell. And that is what nobody wants.
Brigadier Sahab, I'm glad that you have spoken at length about all these issues. Regardless of whether Afghan Taliban actually call the weapons that they retrieve as spoils of war or mal ghanimat or not, President Trump actually has a clear solution for this whole thing. He says that we are paying billions of dollars to Afghan Taliban, and if they don't return the weapons, we are going to stop payment. But other than that, what exactly is the leverage or leeway to actually examine how did Afghan Taliban actually come into possession of most weapons? We understand that a lot of those weapons were given to Ashraf Ghani's army, and the moment they dispersed, all of this was left behind. Are you saying that Americans also actually handed over or were careless regarding the custody of their own equipment?
Yes, definitely. When the responsibility of the American government and the American commanders over there to hand over officially, and somebody should have witnessed that these all weapons, ammunition have been handed over to Afghan Taliban, so that then they would have been responsible. But I think they left it unattended. They left it, just left it. And what could be designed, I think we all understand what was the reason for the happening that. Otherwise, when you're leaving, you need to have an orderly withdrawal. This is withdrawal is a proper operation. When we are doing conducting operation anywhere, even in Pakistan, we plan offensive, we plan defense, and then in case of any reversal, then how we are going to withdraw. This is a proper operation. It has to be orderly withdrawal. You are just going haphazardly and running from Afghanistan. It was intentionally done that they were going in haste because they were not pushed. How is going to happen with these weapons? And that is Pakistan harping is going to be used against Pakistan, and nobody pushed it. And the result we can see all weapons, ammunition with TTP coming to Pakistan and attacking and doing terrorism is being used by them, like with Balochistan, BLA, BLF, Majid Brigade, BNA, all their terrorist organizations. 24 terrorist organizations are there now in Afghanistan. This is the United Nations report. And they're all being trained by Al Qaeda, and they all have the weapon ammunition for them. Just see 70,000 army personnel carriers, armored personnel carriers, including trucks. And then, of course, 70,000 vehicles. See how much they've left. They could have destroyed. If they've not interested to take them back, at least you could have destroyed. You should just explode it, and the thing would have been gone. They tried to neutralize some aircraft, but why not these things? Because they will be used against Pakistan, and of course, the countries which they want, they should remain troublesome. So this is very serious thing. But the only thing is, our government has to be very proactive. We have to be very, in national interest. Now don't have to go for diplomacy. We have to tell them very in clear terms what we are suffering. Americans have to support Pakistan for this the fight of terrorism in this financial and militarily. They must support us. It is a moral duty, and we have to stand for this.
By the
We
way,
have to.
Brigadier Sahab, my earlier question regarding the way to investigate what exactly happened on that day still remains unanswered. But I'm going to add another aspect to it, and that is that the POTUS actually said that instead of using Hamid Karzai Airport, had they used the other building, that is Bagram Airport, it would have been very safe to evacuate from there. Can you tell us, you are a military man, why would have the US Army chosen Kabul airport rather than Bagram for evacuation?
Imagine, but Gamega, they have invested a lot. You can't imagine how much work they have done there, underground, overground, whatever they have done it. And they should have brought all weapons, ammunition, APC, everything they would have collected over there, and they've left it guarded properly. That is what the best things could have happened. And that is what Mr. Trump has said, that when we inquire, we are going to apportion blame Why we could not defend and keep under safe custody this weapons and ammunition? Who gave the orders? Who is responsible? And then why it has been given to all these organizations? This is what is the basis of inquiry. And then he said, whosoever is found guilty, I am going to sort them out. That is the thing. Badgan report, he has said that we should have never handed over. It was decided, but then suddenly something conspired and then they left it. Otherwise, Badgram was totally in their control. They could have stationed their troops with all aircraft and everything available there. And if there was any problem, they could have just aircraft could have flown and sorted these people out. But leaving everything in haste, there was no reason. Why should they run away from there? What are the criminal message to the American people or to the world? And they've given a lot of strength and confidence to these Afghan Talibans. So this is what I say, and Trump has already ordered inquiry, and in that they will find all these questions. They will have a TOR worked out, and then the inquiry will be conducted, and they'll see who is to blame. But he's blaming Biden and his administration. And I would also say it is very unfair. Pakistan has done a lot. We lost over 1 lakh people. We lost $150 billion. We have suffered a lot. Our people have suffered a lot. But we have got in return 0/0. That is what we have to be ensuring and talking to them.
Well, an inquiry that is to unfold as days pass further. With that, Brigadier Haris Nawaz, a political analyst, thank you for your time being part of the conversation. And moving forward, I'd come towards Raja Faisal. When we talk about this development with regards to the President of the United States, going back in time, we know that the Doha Accord was signed, and we know that the Afghan regime has been constantly violating that accord. But when we talk about the US, it was one of the biggest party to that accord along with the Taliban regime, and we also saw that the US troops withdrawal has and leaving behind those weapons has contributed to Afghanistan becoming a hotbed of terrorism. Do you think there's liability and accountability on the US itself with regards to their withdrawal plan?
Yes, of course, but Rafae, why not? When we obviously talk about the Doha Accord itself, there were three pivotal points. Number one, of course, Afghanistan and Afghan Taliban would ensure that their land would never be used against any of the neighboring countries for the terrorism purposes. Here is Pakistan still facing that terrorism. Number two, of course, they were to allow women rights, female rights, and of course, women education. They were supposed to work on that as well. Not doing at all. They are banning schools. They are banning schools for female students. And when it comes to the third one, of course, it was inclusivity of the regime, of the government, which is not to be seen. When we talk about inclusivity, of course, rest of all sectors and segments of the Afghan society, they were supposed to include them so that there is a sort of a mechanism of power sharing amongst all of them. But here we are standing where Afghan Taliban are the ones who are, of course, controlling over Afghanistan and doing whatever